By what name are you known?
There are some who call me Tim.
Welcome to another episode of Timmy Talks, the channel where we talk old school magic. And today we are back in Tokyo, Japan for the finals of their meetup and of their old school meetup, I should say. And this is cool, man. We've got a blue and red counter burn deck, really good, playing against a blue and white skies deck. So both these decks are kind of, top of the line. Remember, this is Eternal Central rules, so you can play with Fallen Empires, you can play with 4 strips. That's all possible. Also, they have a very open reprint policy. So you can see, for example, Swords to Plowshares from Ice Age in here, maybe some different basics. Who knows what we're going to see? Maybe I don't recognize every card, so I'm going to apologize beforehand for that. But of course, I'm going to do my best. But I'm really looking forward to these games. They're always really fast, and I have to say the players are always quite good. So I'm looking forward to just go through this match with you. Now, before I start with the deck techs, I've got lovely deck photos of both of these decks. First, a quick message from our sponsor, 3for1 Trading. 3for1 Trading is one of Europe's leading Magic the Gathering retailers. Their online shop has a fantastic selection of high-end Magic cards, especially for vintage, legacy, and yes, old school Magic players. They now exclusively offer my community free, fully insured, and fast worldwide shipping on all their high-end singles, full sets, and out-of-print sealed products. They upload new cards every Wednesday and have weekly sale offers and reductions waiting just for you. Use my code TIMMY to get free worldwide shipping on your first order over $500 or euros. Have fun ordering those cards, and thank you 3for1 Trading for sponsoring this video. And we are back and ready to dive into the deck techs, and I'm going to start with the burn deck, the counter burn deck, blue and red. Let's have a look. And here we see the counter burn deck. So this deck is piloted by Aku. He's in the finals here, and it's funny, we still call it a counter burn deck, but actually when we look at this list, it's more like a burn deck, and there's only, one counter spell in here. It's a little bit hard to analyze this deck photo. As you can see, they have a very open policy when it comes to reprints and proxies. So we see Aku has just got 2 shatters, just written that down on the back of a card. Nicola explained to me that one of the reasons that they do this is because the old school scene in Japan is quite small still, and they just really want to get as many people in to make them enthusiastic for old school Magic, and I get that, I understand. So here we see 2 shatters as a proxy and a chain lightning, and like I said, this deck is more burn. I mean, look at this list. We've got 4 lightning bolts, 4 chain lightnings, 2 psionic blasts, and only 1 counterspell. I do love the inclusion here of unsummon and boomerang as well. So he could have decided to go for 3 counterspells, but instead he went for boomerang, unsummon, and counterspells. That's pretty nice. Also, no mana drain, as far as I can tell. It's kind of hard to see all the cards, but as far as I can tell, I don't see a mana drain in here. What's interesting is we see, of course, strip mines. You can play 4 in Eternal Central, but we also see blood moons. Blood Moon is a pretty good card against strip mines, because remember, Blood Moon says all non-basic lands or mountains. So you play your strip mine, it's no longer a strip mine, it's a mountain, so you cannot use it to destroy lands. So Blood Moon is actually a way to protect you from land destruction. I think in this deck, Aku doesn't have to worry about land destruction because his top end is only 3 mana, the Surrender Befried, the Wheel of Fortune, cards like that. But the majority of his deck is only 1 mana to cast. We've got a few 2 mana spells. Talking about that, we see Atox in this deck, which is quite interesting. Atox is usually a card that you don't see in counter burn. For the 2-drop, a lot of people prefer Ironclaw Orcs, but I can see why the Atox is in this deck, because you're playing with all that ramp, right? You're playing with all the Moxen in here. You can sack them to the Atox. You've got your Vices in here. Again, when they're useless, you can sack them to the Atox. So I understand the inclusion. I am missing some blue power. Maybe I'm just not seeing it on this deck photo, or maybe he's not playing with any blue power. But of course, a Time Twister would be very good in a deck like this. And obviously, Ancestral Recall and Time Walk make like every deck better. So those 3 cards would have been a very good inclusion. Maybe they're in here, I'm just not seeing them. Anyway, this is the deck of Aku. Now let's take a look at the deck of his opponent. Okay, and here we see the deck of Sento. So this is a blue-white flyers, a very strong deck, of course, because it gives you so much control and it gives you some of the best creatures in the game. So the control elements, of course, we've got counter spells, we've got Swords to Plowshares, we've got when you're ahead on board, you can go Armageddon. The fact that he plays with flyers means that he can use moat. So there are also 2 moats in this deck. A good thing to note here is that the counter spells from Mirage and Swords to Plowshares are from Ice Age, so that's why we see the different art. And also look at that, you know, those lands there, those islands, they look awesome. I believe they're also from Mirage, right? If I'm wrong, please forgive me, but I think they're from Mirage as well. And yeah, this is just looking like a really strong deck. You kind of want to control the board. Then at the right time, you play your Surrender Befried, maybe with the counterspell still open, or your Serra Angel. And from that control position, you're going to slowly kill your opponent. And then, of course, you have those Gem Day Tomes as well to get some card advantage. You've got the blue power. So, you know, there's just a lot of control here. That's what I'm trying to say. And I think that really shows because he's playing with 5 counterspells. So even though he's playing against Counter Burn, and we call this Blue-White Skies, the Blue-White Skies player is playing with way more counter magic than the Counter Burn player, right? So, I mean, 5 counterspells, that's a lot. And it shows the control intentions here that Sento has in this finals. I really love, by the way, the Sleight of Minds in the sideboard. And also we see 2 City in a Bottles in the sideboard. I think that could be disastrous for Aku here in this matchup. So I'm really curious to see if we're going to see that City in a Bottle action. It's clear that in this matchup, Sento is really the control player and Ako will be the aggressor in this game. So it's really nice. We've got 2 different roles, 2 different strategies going against each other. The good news for Ako, though, is, by the way, that there's no real life gain in this deck of Sento. I mean, he could, of course, swords his own creature. I mean, it's been done before so that you can gain some life that way. Maybe that can just give you the extra turn that you need to win the game. But, I mean, for the rest, there's no life gain in here, so that could end up to be problematic for Sento in this match. Okay, so we've looked at both decks. That means we are ready. Let's go to the finals in Tokyo, Japan. Okay, so we have Aku versus Sento. Aku sitting on the left, he's on the play, playing a counter burn deck, and Sento here taking a mulligan. He's playing blue-white flyers. Look at that opening with a Vice. That means that Sento takes 2 damage here because he took a mole, so 18 for him. There's a strip mine and a pass. Let's see what Aku can do. Oh, there's an ATOC here, turn 2. So lots of pressure. That's exactly what Aku wants to do with his deck. Sento taking 2 more points of damage, dropping to 16. There's a Sapphire. Also has a Plains in hand there. And does he have a Tundra or a Blue Source? Because there's also a Counterspell in his hand. Playing the Plains, taking it back. Okay, there's a Tundra, tapping 2. There's a balance here to take care of that ATOC. And it looks like both players have 4 cards in hand, so don't have to discard any cards. Let's see what Aku can do. There's a Volcanic Island. Tapping... No, I thought he was tapping the mountain there. Okay, taps the mountain. Looks like he's going to animate the factory. And then we see a strip here by Sento. But, okay, he's taking it back, actually. Kind of unclear what's happening here. Choosing to make another play, it seems. Thinking about casting the Chain Lightning. Gonna tap the mountain again. Yep, there's the chain. So that's 13 here for Sento. And there's a Flying Man hitting the board as well. Sento here not taking any damage anymore from the Vice. Untapping, playing an island, passing the turn. There we see an island. And there's the attack with the Flying Man. Sento dropping here to 12. And there's the second Flying Man. And there's a counterspell on the Flying Man. A counterspell from Mirage. And there we see an Ancestral Recall. Wow, look at that altar. Crazy. So drawing 3 more cards, passing their turn. It's looking quite good here for Ako, I have to say. There's a Serra Angel though by Sento. Sento's still on 12. So that can block that Flying Man for days. And this Serra Angel could be problematic here for Aku. Let's see what he's going to do. Going to tap 3. Okay, there's the Surrender Befried passing the turn. And that means that, you know, if Sento wants to attack, Aku can now double block, so he's probably not going to. But I think this is good news for Sento. You know, he's a control player. He doesn't mind if the game takes a little bit longer. On the other hand, though, he is on 12, of course. There's always that risk of that you may get burned out. There's another strip mine. There's just a pass of the turn. There's a damage here for Aku. I believe his first points of damage is going to go to 19. There's a strip mine for Aku now as well. So lots of strip mines in the game, but they're not really being used. And look at that, just a pass here from Sento. Another damage for Aku, dropping to 18. And there's a pass again. So both players just passing turn here. There's a Mox Ruby, there's a pass, another damage here, Aku to 17. There's another Flying Man. There's a pass. And I believe, should he take some damage from the Vice? Yeah, or not. Okay, I guess he just went to 5 now. Anyway, to 16 here for Aku. And both players just passing turn here. And here now we see damage for Sento. So Sento now on 11. If I'm not mistaken, I'm trying here to keep track of their scores. There's a Mox Ruby. There's a Plains. Now he's, of course, emptying his hand. I believe he actually took 2 points of damage. There's 1 point of damage for Aku here, going to 15. And the play is playing pretty quick as well. And like I said, I think for Sento it's good that there's a standstill. He's the control player, but it's also bad. Here we see a library. Library not great with that Vice on board. You know, because for Aku, you're like, I'm just going to draw into my burn. I'm going to burn out Sento. There's an island. There's a pass. There are more lands and a pass. And there's an unsummon on end step. Oh, this unsummon could be good. Are we going to see a counterspell on the unsummon? We are. There's counterspell on unsummon. Are we going to see maybe a counterspell on this counterspell? Now remember, I believe Aku only plays with 1 counterspell though. Exactly. So the counterspell is going to counter the unsummon here. And now we see a strip mine here in response. Also a strip on both of the Mishra's factories here of Aku. So some action here on the end step. And then he's going to take his turn, take a damage, go to 13. I believe there's a Mox in his hand, a strip mine, and a disenchant. Look at that, attacking with everything. So he's going to block the Surrender Befreet. And then we see a bolt. And of course, Sento taking 2 damage, going to drop to 9. And playing a strip mine here. And now he's destroying another plane. So really trying to attack the white mana here of Sento. I mean, if he can take care of all the white mana, it means he can no longer cast a Serra. Because now he doesn't have 2 white anymore. So that's a good strategy. And look at this. He's going to pitch the moat. And of course get the balance back here. That will kill both flying men here. There he goes. And of course he only has 2 cards in hand. And also a land gone here for Aku. So that was a good balance. Aku on 13, Sento on 9 at the moment. Let's see what he can do. Three cards in hand. Psionic Blast, one of the cards. And he is going to fire off the Psionic Blast. Going to put Sento on 5. Of course, Aku also takes 2 damage. Drops to 11. So Sento on 5. Here we see a Surrender Befreet. Which is good for Sento, but also a little risky. He is on 5, of course. There's a strip mine, again attacking the white part of the mana base of Sento. Sento dropping to 4 here. Gonna attack for 3. Aku dropping to 8. Wow, we're getting closer to the end of this first game. And what a battle it is. There's a flying man that's very relevant because it can jump to surrender for a turn. Meaning an extra damage. And of course, Aku can still take a damage. So I think this flying man is really bad news for Sento. Sento is really in the tank here, trying to think, okay, what to do. You can, of course, attack. Aku can take the damage, drop to 5. Yeah, we do see a counterspell here. I think that's a much needed counterspell. And here Sento dropping to 3, I believe. Then he can attack, put Aku on 5. There's another duel and a pass. Oh, this is really good. This Surrender for free changes everything. Are we going to see a counterspell, though? Or Swords to Plowshares? That's the question. Neither. Sento dropping to 2. He's in trouble. Only 2 more turns. There's the pass. Aku dropping to 4. Oh, Sento will only have 1 last turn. Needs to find something. Dropping to 1 measly life. What does he have? It needs to be removal, basically, for his own Surrender. Even then, he's gonna die. I mean, what can he do at this position, actually? Is there a card that can save him? He's in the tank here, 4 cards in hand. Nope, that's it. Aku here winning game number 1. Now remember, it's just the first game, but what a thriller this is. Now both players are going to dive into their sideboards, and we will catch back up with them in game number 2. Game number 2, here we go. Aku, of course, winning the first game, meaning Sento is on the play here, starting with double Moxen and a land tax. Wow. That is sweet. That is a good opener here. And I think if you're Aku, I don't know, are you then hoping maybe for a Vice? Because then drawing all those basics may not be great for Sento. Then again, Sento's really empty his hand, only 4 cards left. And I think you're just also going to have to play a basic, right? Unless you have a handful of Mox in yourself. I don't think so, though. There's 1 Mox, I believe. Could go for the Volcanic Island and the Mox, or the Mountain. It's got a Mox Jet in hand. Yeah, going to go for the Mountain here and the Mox Jet. And there's an ATOC turn 1. Okay, so got some pressure. It's not too bad. But of course, now Sento can use his land tax. Look up 3 basics, an island and 2 plains. And shuffling up. And then, of course, gonna draw for turn. I mean, Lantex is just a sick card, you know. Completely insane. And that opener, of course, here for Sento. I mean, double Mox and Lantex. It's just crazy. And here we see a strip mine and a pass. And that ATOG there still hanging out. And again here, if you're Aku, I mean, do you want to play out the land? I think you kind of have to, right? But he's doubting it. First gonna attack. So Sento dropping here to 19. And he is playing the Volcanic Island. I mean, remember, Volcanic also activates the Valor Stone. And now again, Sento can use his land tax. 6 cards in hand at the moment, if you count the basics there as well. He leaves them open there on his playmat. Only picks up 2 cards though, 2 islands. And then, of course, drawing for turn as well. So he now has, I believe, 8 cards in hand. And that Felver Stone is now active because Aku played out the Volcanic, but now it's no longer active. There we also see a Disenchant. Wow, so look at that. And look at this. Aku picking up the card saying, you know what? You've got this game number 2. I've seen enough. This is a slaughterhouse for me. I think I would have given it a few more turns, to be honest, but that's me. Anyway, it is 1-1, and that means we're going to go to an all-decisive game number 3. Game number 3, here we go. So it's 1-1. Aku now on the play. And let's see what he can do. So he picked up the cards pretty quickly in game 2, but perhaps he's thinking, you know what, I get to start in that 3rd game. So that's where my deck really shines. And he's playing a turn 1 ATOC here. And there's an island by Sento. And just to pass, I believe, are we going to see a strip perhaps and step? No, we're not. So untapping, upkeep, a draw. Chain Lightning in hand there. One of the cards for Aku. Aku attacking your Sento to 19. There's a chain, Sento to 16. And there's a strip. Yeah, so really slowing Sento down. Sento is playing an Ancestral Recall. That is pretty nice for him, of course. And he's going to draw a card. We don't see any vices from Aku. The vice did some work in that first game. Ooh, there's a blue Elemental Blast card coming in from the sideboard, destroying the Atok. And he's discarding a Gem de Tome there. Passing the turn. There's a Strip Mine again, so super aggressive here on the lands. And that's of course what you get in a 4-strip format. There's a Flying Man in hand there, but he doesn't have any blue mana, I believe. Passing the turn. There's a Tundra and there's a Time Walk, so taking an extra turn. Can he find some more lands? We also see a City in a Bottle there in hand. That's really, really good. There's a COP red. Oof. It's looking bad for Aku, to be honest. He had a great start, but... Okay, there's a Black Lotus. Could use the Lotus for blue mana. Could consider then casting the Flying Man. So 3 blue, playing the Flying Man. He also has that Psionic Blast. Going to go for a Psionic Blast. So that means Sento is going to drop to 12. Aku is going to drop to 18. And I believe I saw a City in a Bottle in the hand of Sento. If that really is a city, it would be devastating. Yes, it is. Oh, this is so bad for Aku. There we do see a Shatter here. That the problem with City is when it comes into play, it immediately destroys all the cards from the Arabian Nights. So you already have your value. In this case, destroyed the Flying Man. And now Aku is in top decking mode. And Sento is still pretty high up on 12. And he has that COP red. So it's looking quite good for Sento. Oh man, this is deadly. Dust to dust. Destroying both Moxen here for Aku. Oh, that is so rough for him. Passing the turn. Yeah, this will be really difficult for Aku to get back into this game. There's the land tax. Okay, there we see a Mox Sapphire here. And I believe a Time Walk could go Sapphire Time Walk. Nope, not doing it. I think it's a Time Walk, of course. I'm not 100% sure. Sento also just passing the turn, but Sento is in such a good position here. With that COP red. There's another land, Volcanic Island, passing the turn. Okay, there's a second island, meaning that Sento now is counter magic online, making it even harder for Aku. Ooh, look at this. Yep. Library of Alexandria. Really, really good. Has a Mishra's Factory there, but also knows that there's a Strip Mine, of course, on the side of Sento. So probably playing the Mishra simply means that is going to be stripped. Here we see that Time Walk that I talked about earlier. And yeah, it's going to play the Factory. Now going to take his extra turn. Is that a 1 counter spell that he has in his deck there in hand? Also has a Surrender Befreet. Is he going to play it out? I think so. He's going to tap 3. There we see the Surrender Befreet hitting the board. Are we going to see a counter spell? Because we do see a mana drain, for example, in hand for Sento. Sento deciding not to. Also has, I believe, a City in a Bottle in hand. But I mean, do you really want to play the City when you have your own Loa that's active? Probably not. Gonna draw an extra card here with the Loa. Yeah, there's just a Swords to Plowshares here. So Aku gaining 3 more life, going to go up to 21. Yeah, I mean, now Aku is playing against an active Loa. And this is a big problem, you know. Needs to get rid of that Library of Alexandria ASAP. And look at that, dropping the card saying, you've got this. I cannot get back from this anymore. You win the game. And I mean, boy, I have to say, Aku and Sento, you guys play really, really quick Magic. Congratulations here to Sento for winning the finals here with your blue-white Skies deck. Well done. You're the champion of Tokyo. For now, at least, until the next meetup. So this is absolutely great. I would like to thank Nicola for sending me these matches. It's great fun, to watch how you guys play old school Magic over in Japan. What I really notice is your speed. You guys are playing so fast. It's a great challenge for me to commentate these matches. So thank you very much, Nicola, and of course the players Aku and Sento for showing your skills here on the channel. Now, if you've enjoyed this match, please take a moment to leave a like, leave a comment, and share this on your socials. All these things are free and really help the channel move forward. And then there's another thing you can do. You can also become a patron of the show. Check out patreon.com/TimmyTalks to find out how you can support the show financially. And one of the cool things is if you become a supporter at the sorcerer level and up, your name will be mentioned in the end scroll at the end of every single video. What end scroll? This end scroll.
What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, put him in the longboat until he's sober, put him in the longboat until he's sober, put him in the longboat until he's sober. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning, pull out the plug and wet him all over, pull out the plug and wet him all over, pull out the plug and wet him all over. Early in the morning, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises, way hey and up she rises. Early in the morning. What shall we do with the drunken sailor? What shall we do with the drunken sailor? Put him in the scout to the hood, my son, he'll put him in the scout to the hood, my son, he'll put him in the scout to the hood, my son, he'll early in the morning. Way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises, way hey up she rises. Early in the morning.
Igitus figitus sumba kazee.